Hey everybody, this is Chozen bringing you another audio commentary for Starcraft 2 Beta. Today I have a matchup on blistering sands. My opponent and I were favored evenly. His name is Cian, so I'm going to go ahead and get this replay started. As you can see, his probe manages to get in my base and I really can't seal it off in time, so that probe is pretty much going to act as a scout for him. And he's just going to be annoying with that probe as much as possible until he dies. But I do seal my base anyways because I need to kill that probe and I want to make sure he doesn't pull him back or build a pylon. For example, he's sitting right over here in the corner. He knows that I know he's there, so he's not even going to attempt to waste his money on a pylon. I'm just pretty much distracting him a little bit here, trying to make him move, and as you can see, I killed him right there. So that was pretty much that. I know that I'm playing Protoss. I haven't scouted him to this point yet. I'm going double barracks, as you can see, and my main objective here is to outmass Protoss. The cookie cutter when you do play Protoss, and the main objective is to pretty much outmass them, and with some outmassing and some smart play, you can really do some damage to a Protoss army and even hinder them. He manages to defend and push back pretty nicely, and we're going to go ahead and see that in a little bit. So I'm just going to discuss what he's doing here. He has a cybernetics core up, 2 gateways, pretty cookie cutter. He's just going to build a couple of zealots. Later in the game you'll see that he gets sentries, immortals, and stalkers, and it's going to get pretty wild. He builds this pylon here to make sure that these destructible rocks are not being shot at. Now, one thing that you really have to pay attention to in this map on Blistering Sands is these rocks. And it's very important that you put some type of supply depot, a pylon, or have an overlord watching this. It's extremely important that you have sight of these destructible rocks, because I can't tell you, once every 50 games or so I'll forget all about it and I'll instantly lose to a Zerg who breaks those rocks and rushes in with roaches. So it's like, make sure you watch those rocks. He's obviously getting the warp gate upgrade, and he's probably going to be converting these to warp gates soon. There they go. And I'm going to go ahead and back to my base, and I've pretty much decided that he can't see me, I can't see him. I'm going to just try to tech as fast as possible and do a drop off on him. What I didn't realize is this robotics facility over here will be making an observer, and he's going to be sending it over and just pretty much watching what I do for a couple of seconds, or minutes rather. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up just a bit, just so we can get past this boring part, because it's pretty much us massing, and as you can see, that observer's going out there to scout me out. He wants to see what I have. He's got about 2 zealots, 3 zealots, 1 immortal, a couple stalkers, and a couple sentries. So that observer is now in my base. He sees exactly what I'm doing. I didn't know that he was... like I said, I didn't know that he was watching me at this point, and that observer, there it goes. I had no clue that it was even there. So he gets the jump on me. He knows I'm going to do a drop off on him. He knows where to mass and bring his units to. And I pretty much realized that I'm not going to be able to actually drop off here. So as you can see, I make a quick U-turn there and say, oh, that's not going to be the place I'm going. The observer can't follow me, and he gets left behind. And what I do here is take advantage of these rocks anyways. Even though his pylon is here, if I go to his view, I don't think he can see those... Well, he can see the life of the rocks and the graphics of my shooting, but if he's not paying attention to that, I don't think he will be expecting an attack from here. But as you can see, he's massing his army. Maybe he does expect an attack or know it's coming. But he's pretty much just massing his army up here. And I get through. I finally break through those rocks. I stim pack up, and I'm gonna kill this pylon right here. I'm gonna just go back to everyone, and so you can see what's going on here. And as you can see, I just stim packed up, took out this pylon. I'm going to bring the resources page so you can see that he is in the negative because he lost that pylon. And I'm pretty much just going to focus down sentries here. They're the weakest unit. I have a couple of marauders, and as you can see, microing back and forth. So far I've lost about 5 marines, 6 marines now. and I'm just pretty much microing and macroing back and forth. I'm going to slow this down just a bit so that you can see I'm pretty much baiting him in here. He tries to put a force field up to block me in, but it doesn't work. I see that I'm coming up the ramp here and I'm going to get some free kills, so I stimpack and go for some stalkers. I managed to kill 2 stalkers right there, and it's important that you just stimpack when you want to kill something and stimpack when you want to run away. That way you'll never get caught by his army, and as you can see, I've dragged his entire army all the way from his base to my base pretty much, and he's pretty much just followed me, and these 4 marauders here are just going to take the grunt of this damage. I'm going to go ahead and pause this replay for part 2. Hey everybody, welcome back to Chozen vs Cian on Blistering Scenes. I'm going to go ahead and get this replay started. If you already saw, his army pretty much chased me from his base to my base thinking that he's going to pick off all these units. He did manage to pick off 8 Marines, but I believe that I picked off a little bit more than what the 8 Marines were worth with my 4 Marauders, which are still alive here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this at faster speed, and you're going to be able to see that I'm going to back into my base here. I have a nice little army. I'm going to go ahead and fight this, and he loses his zealots, and he just has 4 mortals, 1 stalker, and 2 sentries there, versus 3 marauders and 4 marines, which are all stimpacked. So I'm really not sure what to do at this point because I know that he has those immortals and I really can't fight them. So I really want to wait for this tank and some more marauders to come out before I actually take my approach into this. I do have 2 starports here, one pumping another medevac so that I can get healed faster from using Stimpack, which means I can use it more, and pretty much going to build some Banshees here just to get some air-to-ground assault units so I can take care of those immortals. Game's slowing down just a bit here. It's going to speed back up. He's pretty much holding outside of this base. His observer, which he left back on my initial attack into his base, he's going to bring in here. He sees that all of this stuff that I'm massing at the top of the hill, I really can't do anything, and this observer is just going to be extremely annoying for me. And I see him trying to approach this base here. I back up because I notice that he has the advantage on this ledge. My tank comes out, and now this is the point where I decide I really want to fight this battle because I have the advantage right at here. My tank is going to just take up so much damage from those immortals that they really were ineffective. That zealot is just hacking away, but I have too many medics to actually kill any of my marauders here. So you can see that now that I have these medics and these marauders, they're actually just keeping them at full HP consistently, and I'm able to just stimpack my way all the way up to catch that last immortal there. So my opponent has started to expand. I am also building a command center to drop it off right here. That was my intention. He does have a couple of stalkers at this Naga tower here, so he does have a good view of the map if I decide to attack him. He's pretty much going to protect this expansion here, but I'm really not interested in the expansion at all. I'm actually interested in his main base, and you're going to see that in a few seconds there. He did have an observer in my base, and if you didn't see that, I just did a sweeping scan, and 2 Marines killed that observer. One tip that I can give is if you see your screen moving, like a little blur in your screen, it's probably that observer or some type of invisible unit. So you can just time the scan with where the unit is moving or that blur is on the screen, and you'll be able to kill it. So I did assume he had an observer over me because he's not attacking, he's not doing anything. He seems to know that I'm just in my base sitting here. I can see that he's building a lot of photon cannons. He does have 1 Colossus out. I did do a lot of damage to him by killing all those immortals and pretty much leaving him with no stalkers left to come back with. You can see he ports in about 2 sentries, or gates in about 2 sentries and zealots here. He warps them in. I'm unloading in the back of his base. I'm stimpacking everybody up, and I'm going to go straight for these pylons. Pylons are probably the weakest and most crucial thing that Protoss are vulnerable to, and as you can see, I'm just going to town on these. He accidentally puts this Colossus up against me all by himself, and it's just going to cost him that Colossus because he actually loses track of it, I guess. These zealots and 2 sentries, and he has about 6 stalkers here, or 7 stalkers, are just no match. He's just falling behind, and I'm just gaining, as you can see, microing my units back and forth stimpack, back and forth stimpack, and once I feel that I have the advantage, I go all the way with it. Finally, I just want to say it's pretty much the microing and macroing back and forth that finished him off, and him overextending his army and chasing me down from his base to my base. And like I said, microing your units and only using Stimpack to run and to fight is pretty much the key here. And I'm gonna just use range to take down these warp gates, pretty much hindering him. He's not gonna be able to do much or build much, and he's eventually gonna call a good game. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop this right here just because it's already over and there's not much he can do since all his advanced buildings are shut down. I just want to say thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for leaving your comments and feedback and all the views you're giving me. I hope to bring you better quality videos, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.